So we're getting pretty close to the launch of FM24 now. There's loads of stuff that they've shown off already. They've done a whole load of videos on all the feature blogs that they've done the last week or so. There's been a couple of videos as well, so we're starting to see what's in the game. The video came out just today. Well, actually, I'm filming this a bit late, so it was last night, but we're going to have a look at that. Check out what was in that. There was also a video over on Twitter. We're going to have a look at that one first. If, like me, you're excited for FM24, make sure you use the code SIMAGIO24 down in the link in the description to get the game for £35 and 5 pence at Fanatical. They are an improved Sega retailer, so they're allowed to sell the key to you, and you'll get the beta access. You'll get it on launch. It'll be all working fine. You take that key, put it into Steam, and it works absolutely fine. And it's 22% cheaper than Steam as well. So make sure you use that down in the description below. But I'm going to give you my thoughts on what I've been thinking of the features and announcements that they have shown so far, and we'll have a look at these videos and see if there's anything new we can spot in these videos as well. So the first video they put out was this match engine recap. So we're going to start off with this. You can see obviously Champions League license is still there.
Out on November 6th, Football Manager 2024 is the most complete edition to date, with upgrades to key areas and new tools to empower you on your path to glory. The most complete edition yet needs a match engine.
So we saw this. This was the new lighting that they showed off in the blog, or the images, last week. So we saw very briefly what that looked like. But this is actually it in engine. You know, this is a Twitter video, so it's downscaled quite a lot, so you can see the players don't actually look that blocky.
Which takes you even closer to the real life experience.
That is a very yellow ball. I don't know if they've done that to show where the ball is, or
through FM24's match day.
That's the winter ball.
The first thing you'll immediately notice.
Okay, yeah, that's what we saw. That looks a lot better.
Your stadium will look crisper and more realistic across
the
season.
Looks good.
And thanks to better color grading, you'll be able to notice the time of day and weather conditions. And thanks to better color grading.
Is this a new camera angle? Are we getting a closer to the pitch camera angle? This is obviously pre-match during the warm-up, but I don't remember seeing this before. I don't remember seeing this much before. They still got the same background drop, so I mean, imagine that's something that will save for FM25. You can, if you go look in the window of this one over on the right-hand side, you might actually see that there's a little guy in it. If you ever see it in the pitch in the game,
you'll be able to notice the time of day and weather.
I mean, it made the Twitter video clearer then somehow.
Weather conditions much more clearly.
Oh, so I worried for a second because it flicked again, and I thought, hang on, have I just looked at the FM23 one and then compared it to FM24 and said the 23 one looked good? But no, it's going through different weather styles, so that's cool.
On the pitch, let's kick off with huge upgrades in positional play and player rotations. Positional play.
Okay, so this was the positional play. You have like the Man City, obviously. John Stones here. We did this in the video the other day. John Stones had pushed up. Walker was here.
Play is an evolving philosophy where teams look to create overloads to get the better of their opponents.
Sorry, John Stones is there even.
In key areas. In FM24, players are much more aware of their roles and the roles and movements of their teammates. As the test lines illustrate here, your players now move more intelligently to create or cover space for those around.
So this is actually interesting. You won't ever see this in game, but this is like the decision making as it's happening, and then thinking, right, am I going to make this decision? I'm going to make this decision. Am I going to go here? Am I going to what's like the momentum of my movement? It's kind of, I mean, yeah, look, shifting, like can advance to this position. So it's like what their current plan of action is
around them. This fluidity allows your team's shape to be much more dynamic, with the ability to adjust between different phases of attack. And while we've cranked up positional play, we've given you a brand new role.
Inverted fullback. Yeah, that'd be interesting. Okay, so yes.
Fullback while defending.
Watch this guy move in.
To become a third central defender in
this guy's move forward.
Alongside this, we've improved the libero role too, to enhance their movement off the ball and into midfield. So let's see all of that in action here.
Okay, this is actually that same clip.
Libero advances into space, signaling to our inverted fullbacks to tuck in.
So that should be the fullback there, which is Walker. He should go across.
With this, Rodri shifts into a double pivot with the newly advanced Stones.
Across
this
the middle
foundation
there
allows our central midfielders to progress into the final third, and because of this, our wingers stay nice and wide to keep the space and allow those.
I mean, Grealish didn't. Grealish came all the way into the middle.
And not only do your players move more intelligently, but simply put, they look better too. Thanks to a new collaboration with a real-life data partner, player locomotion has enhanced.
So this is the bit to look out, see what happens with the players.
Cleaner and more fluid off-the-ball animations.
Okay, the way that defender
moving off the ball.
Yeah, watch this defender in the middle. Watch this guy. Number 5 here.
cleaner and more fluid off the ball animation.
I don't think he'd have made a move like that
We've
before.
even improved the movement
like that
of
drop
the
of the
ball
shoulder and
itself as
turn
well.
towards the goal.
With rewritten ball physics
That curve
being
looks
what you
good.
see play out much more accurate to real life. The ball will drag, spin, and float more authentically, leading to more realistic dribbles, crosses, switches of plays, and deflections.
I mean, that little deflection looks cool where it
These
just
enhancements
bounces
have
out.
unlocked new finishes and shot types too, with the ability to volley the ball into the ground and react to a wider range of headed chances.
It's like when we saw the first overhead kick a few years ago. We went mad for it. Everyone's gonna remember their first volley
Revamped
into
player
the ground.
rotations, enhanced movement and animations, a new player role, better ball physics, environment, lighting, and pitch textures.
It's actually kind of surprising they've done this much with F25. I mean, I think they needed to, right? Like 25, everyone knows, and they've said what's happening with 25. Everyone's been critical for a few years about the way the game looks. So not necessarily about the decision making and the way the game acts, although that has been a problem as well, but more like how it looks graphically, and especially when you see FIFA, like it's you can't compare it to FIFA. Like FIFA's a multi-billion-pound game. I mean, FM's not cheap to make, I'm sure, but it's like it's not going for the same thing either. But at the same time, like you can't be relying on tech that's nearly at this point got to be 15 years old more. I mean, FIFA looked better than this in 2002. So, well, you know, it's got to get there at some point where it looks, and this is what next year will do. I hope it looks better. But so it's surprising that they've made these tweaks, but I think it's right. They had to, right? They couldn't do nothing on the match engine and the way the game looks this year. Otherwise, people will go, I'm just waiting for 25. I have heard people say that. I'm not in that boat, but I've definitely heard people say, I'm not getting this year. I'm going to wait for 25.
Simply our most authentic match engine to date.
They say that
Even
every year.
deeper dive into
Why
these
it'd be
match improvements
if it
and
was, I
upgrades
mean,
other-
that's always like empty words, isn't it? Like if they didn't say that, what would be the point? What you know, you can make a less authentic match engine to date.
The key areas in FM24. Head to footballmanager.com
So we've seen all these
and follow us across our social channels.
Right. Yeah, please go give them a follow. Go give them a follow. So then we get this video with Carl Anker, Peggy 3.
This is going to give you.
Oh, wait, I didn't get the Peggy 3. I'll go back. I want it.
Peggy 3.
Yeah.
This is going to give you the power to explore a completely different reality and rewrite history.
Okay, cheers. All right, let's have a look.
Hello, I'm Carl Anker, and welcome to your Football Manager 2024 feature wrap-up. This video is going to serve. As
Look. I got to pause for a second. The shirts. I tell you, when I went to Sports Interactive in the summer, I got this box. Where is it? It's up there. It's just up there on the shelf. It's behind the Pit Boy. And I was like, yes, finally, I've got one of these shirts. I want one of these War Child shirts, these FMFC shirts. Like that one. Is that the new one? That's the new one. I want that one. But yeah, so we got a box. I was like, yes, an FMFC shirt. And it was a mystery shirt, it was a nice shirt. It's a Bochum shirt. We might have to, but I'm butchering that pronunciation as my Twitch chat always points out. But we might have to do a Bochum save at some point. Anyway, Carl, carry on.
For all of the feature drops, all of the gameplay upgrades that make FM24 the most complete edition to date, including a long-awaited new league.
Yes, J-League. We might have to give that a go. There's something alluring about it.
Transfer developments,
Yes.
player interactions, and much.
Oh, you're going too quick, Carl. There's lots of screenshots there I want to look at. So, okay, that's we actually, I think these are the same screenshots we saw before.
Right here for the very first time. When you load up FM24 for the first time, you'll be given the chance to bring your FM23 progress with
It's
you.
tempting.
So
It's
you
tempting.
can pick up right where you left off and continue your career with all the brand new features that FM24 brings.
Yeah, you could, especially with the retro
FM24
database.
delivers an enhanced matchday experience that takes the drama to newer heights. But before we get under the hood, one thing you'll notice immediately are the improvement to lighting and pitch textures.
Okay, we just seen this in the other
Elevate
video.
your matchday visuals, be it day or night or across the season.
It does look good though.
On the pitch, position
At least
play
better.
is an evolving philosophy that seeks to create
Like this looks better.
better opponents in possession.
I think, and some people pointed this out. Some people went back to FM14 and looked at how the lighting and stuff looked in the game then. And I think there was a change that they made that was an improvement to the way the game emulated it all, but graphically it's gone backwards. It's like a very odd, you know, it's now putting it out there more realistically, like a more realistic reflection. But the old ones, which might have just been like an image file, actually looked more realistic. So it's It was an update, an upgrade, very much like the new gen faces. The new gen faces have looked rubbish the last few years. I'll be honest, because we all think it. Well, it's because they've given them the in-game player engine faces, which they didn't used to do. They used to have like a fake identikit type thing to make up a face, which again wasn't ideal. But they did this identikit thing to make up the face, but they weren't matching the faces of the players in the game. Now they match the faces of the players in the game, but the faces of the players in the game aren't that great, so it doesn't give that good faces.
Push forward by the likes of Pep is an approach that sees players take up positions that help create numerical advantages with passing triangles and diamonds. In FM24, you'll notice your players are more aware of each other than ever before.
I mean, that's good.
To complement their teammates when it comes to finding.
I like how the opposition player was just called 3 then, because they couldn't use player names. All player names turned off.
Roles and the movement of teammates around them. More passing lanes going to be open to them, and they're going to have a better...
I think you can already see it, but then I feel like I think this every year. I think you can already see the movement there of the player, the way this player is reacting here, the way some of the defenders are reacting, and also the way Atletico, let's be honest, Atletico Madrid players are reacting as well.
Ability to play through the lines. This will allow your team's shape to dynamically adjust between different phases of attack. Happy days. You'll also see more authentic player movements thanks to data we've obtained from a new partner within the professional
Not to
game,
finish.
which greatly improves the authenticity and fluidity of the
this is stuff we just seen in the other video.
These movements to life using a brand new role. The inverted fullback. Picture Kyle Walker at Manchester City.
It's a different clip they're using for this one.
When defending, but transitions to become a third centre-back.
This is the clip they did actually use both these before.
Back 3 when building attacks, dropping into a back 4 without the ball. You'll be in good company. That's what all the top sides are doing. When your playmakers are spraying...
Yeah, but what about down in non-league?
Change the ball physics as well. Meaning the ball itself will now float and spin more authentically, with deflections appearing more realistic as well.
That's good.
With the engine's visuals delivering the slickest match they experience for the series, there's no better lens for your trip to Japan. As the J-League...
So this is the thing. It's 30 years of the J-League this year, and they've been putting a lot of money into the marketing of it. You might have seen, for example, LS Platin, if any of you follow Away Days, he went across there for some stuff. I think they've been putting out some special shirts and things like that. And like they seem to have opened up with the licensing of the J League a little bit to try and get it out there. I don't know if it was caught up. It might have been that it was caught up with weird things, because Japanese football and the Japanese football video game market has always been a bit strange. Obviously, for a long time, they had Winning 11, which we would have known as Pro Evo or Pro Evolution Soccer, which would have had the J League stuff in it. I think it had the J League stuff in it. But they also had like other games. They got like, is it Inazaki? There's a weird Captain Suba, like animes and games around that. It's all, and I'm absolutely butchering those. Like it's a whole world, different world of football that opens up with the possibility of the J League, which I think is really interesting. It's like so culturally different, yet it's the same game. I think more culturally different than what you'd get out of South American football, or whatever's going on in outside of Europe, in Africa, in the Middle East, etc. I think Japan specifically and Korea to some extent have a really unique brand and culture around sports and football. So yeah, I'll be interested to give J League a go and get ingrained in that, find out about that.
Long-awaited debut in Football Manager. This new license for FM24 fully unlocks Japan as a playable nation.
Look, all logos.
J2 and J3 leagues with official logos.
All 3 leagues.
And player photos with an incredible wealth.
Lovely.
As evidenced by the amount of successful Japanese imports across the European stage, you can now scout the nation for future prospects as you look to
replace
the European stage. You can.
Does it have that many buttons? There's 3 centre mid buttons there and 3 DM buttons. They're not. I'm sure there's not normally 3 lanes of those. For scouting and 3 centre back positions. This is new then, isn't it? Because I'm pretty certain you couldn't scout, because this is what is this asking for? Recruitment focus. So this is asking for a centre back who plays centrally. This is asking for one who plays on the left. And this is asking for one who plays on. I'd have to go back and look, but I'm pretty sure that is not there in the game now, with 3 different layers of centre mids, DMs, attacking mids, centre backs, and strikers. I thought it would just be like left side, right side, central. But I could be wrong. So interesting. There's all those options now.
Now
Even if maybe they were there before.
Prospects as you look to recruit exciting new players for your club. In FM24, expert insight from those at the forefront of transfer dealings drives significant improvements to squad building. And this is going to help you offload those unwanted players.
This looks good. Yeah, this is those conversations.
Interest option.
By the way, Miles did say that there is new stuff in this video. So I know we saw a lot of this stuff in the other videos, but he has promised that there's going to be some new stuff in this video. So fingers crossed we will get there.
It means you can kickstart a conversation with a player's agent to unearth potential buyers. This gives you a good understanding of the market and a new level of insight, but it won't guarantee a sale every time. So, in order to help you make a sale, you now be able to hire intermediaries who make their debut in FM24.
You choose which one, pay the fee. I like this little decision you have to make.
Generate interest in the player and help.
It's kind of interesting.
For a percentage of the fee. The more skilled the intermediary, the more commission they'll demand. So, use them wisely.
Yes. All right, that looks good. That looks good. I like that.
While you're getting supported in moving on players, your opposition managers are going to be smart. For when it comes to.
I think like the main thing, and I said this in the other video, is that the bits you do most in Football Manager around the transfers, the tactics, and your managing your playing squad. Those are the most important parts of the game, the most fun parts of the game. So any changes to them are going to feel bigger than whole new features that you don't touch because they come up once a year, or you just don't end up. It's like the squad plan. The squad planner was a requested feature for a long time. No one actually touches the squad planner, or the dynamic manager timeline. Like that's just a little weird thing at the end of the year, which shows your history in a nice graphic. It's not really a feature that changes the way in which you interact and play with the game. And I think the squad planner could have been, but I don't think people are using it the way that is intended. Perhaps. Maybe it's because it makes more busy work in a way. But I think this stuff is this is reflecting what's actually happening in football. It's going to change the way in which you interact with the players. It's going to change the way in which you interact with transfers, conduct transfers, buy players, sell players. It's going to reduce some of the more frustrating elements, but also implementing a little extra element of difficulty, which I think is really, really good. Or maybe not difficulty, but challenge, right? So the frustration is going in terms of when you want to sell a player and why does no one want to buy? Surely someone will buy this player from me. I'm offering him out. He's a good player. I just have no need for him and I need to raise funds. Get it. He could be sold. There is a team that will take him. I know that's not always the case, but almost certainly. And I'm sure in the game now, still there will be players you can't get rid of. But sometimes it seems ridiculous that you just have to hammer the offer out to clubs day by day by day in FM23 and previous editions. So now this looks really good. Changing the way in which you interact with that intermediaries to bring in or to get rid of players. That's changing the things that you're interacting with. The same with the new positions and the new roles and the way the players interact on the pitch. Stuff that changes the way in which you're interacting with the game. That is going to change the way in which you are building your tactics, thinking about your tactics. I think it's almost less exploitable and more like real football in a way then as well, which I think is really good for how we're playing the game. Okay, Carl, carry on. I've interrupted you.
Squad building. So brace yourself. Some battles in the transfer market.
Yes, I'm ready.
Reprogrammed to recognize imbalances within their own squad. They're now
good challenge.
Take their tactical style more into consideration before delving into the transfer market. For example, if they're looking for a midfielder for their Geigen pressing system, they're going to specifically scout for players with the relevant attributes, like high stamina and work rate.
I don't know how bad they were at that before. I'd be interested to know if they were. I'd be interested to know if they would buy the wrong kind of players and then fit the tactics around the wrong kind of players. Or if they would just buy the wrong kind of players. I'm curious how bad that was. That's not something I would have noticed, but then I probably didn't pay too much attention to opposition style and the players they were buying, and if it was the same managers. Not sure. That would be interesting.
Intelligent when it comes to selecting their matchday squads. Opposition managers are now going to better consider key factors like form, reputation, and potential.
Okay.
And they're going to be naming their starting 11 as well as their substitutes. They're also going to use their high potential players in more realistic scenarios in order to give them much needed game time in order to accelerate their development.
They do what the real man we do as players.
Play upgrades and brand new additions is a reworked financial system. This is going to dramatically enhance.
You know what? Something like that where AI managers use high potential players could be really interesting in Build a Nation saves, for example. Because I think one of the problems is in a Build a Nation you can only control the one club. So the other clubs in the league where you're trying to build up the reputation of the nation, you can't really. You can, sort of work a way for them to get better players, loan them youth potential players, but you can't really improved them anyway. But now, if they've got young players with potential, there's an incentive for them to improve, or there's a mentality that they're going to improve them. I think that could be really interesting, in particular for that kind of save.
Authenticity of how clubs must operate in a modern footballing world. Several new financial fair play enhancements will also force you to pay closer attention to
Ooh, the finances. Oh, that's given me an idea for my save this year.
Of elite football, with managers constantly trying to find ways to get the better of their opponents. With that in mind, Football Manager 2024 includes set-piece coaches for the first time ever. Well, I hope
okay, good.
Refreshed set-piece creator. So
this looks good. So this is the refresh on the set-piece creator. We did see this in the blog.
This tool, the focus of
I want to see it a bit more.
Is on the players with the most appropriate attributes, delivering new ways to create.
That's ordering them. That's putting in the players. I want to see if you can move them around. That is my concern. Can I, like that number 20? Can I just drop him forward? Like, where does that come in? We I thought it was that show creator button, but that does something different. I think we worked out in the last blog.
Match-winning routines in different scenarios. Leaning further on the expertise of your new coach, you'll also have a better understanding of your opponent's strengths from set pieces too.
Oh, it didn't show us anymore. Right, I need to see more of that.
On the path to glory. Slumps in form, players lacking confidence, standards dropping in training. We've all seen it before. In Football Manager 2024, you can now inspire your players to reach new heights by setting performance targets in order to elevate their levels. These can include goals, assists.
Okay, I like this. This is like an extra thing that's quite interesting. It's not too intensive.
First team players, or
it's about the right kind of level of interaction with your players.
Their best while they're out on development. Offering a playing time pathway can significantly boost the player's interest in joining your
You can make promises as well.
It can be a little difficult to justify whether they should be promised a regular spot in a few seasons. So, you can now offer a target.
This makes sense.
In the contract negotiation tree.
Good for all that Wonder Kid buying.
Far more logical responses to praise or criticism, as well as a wider range of responses. No more tantrums for congratulating your star player on a hat-trick.
Yeah, good stuff.
You're going to be focused on your own squad building.
I don't want angry players for no reason again when I say, "Oh, well done on your first international goal." Oh, I think I can do better, boss. Thanks, great. Like, why are you angry at me? I'm trying to be nice.
Upgrade to the squad planner to give you more focus on when as well as where.
Oh, an upgrade to the squad planner. Hang on. This bit's new, right? Carl, go again. Tell me again.
Upgrade to the squad planner to give you more focus on when as well as where your attention is needed. And if a position needs strengthening, you'll...
What's that stars? What's this?
When as well as...
Stop, Carl. So 1 star. So left. That's suggesting that needs our attention. Well, left back's just a question mark. What does this little button mean? Does that mean that's someone who's coming in, or we should be rotating them in? Wait, what does it say? First choice. Oh, first choice. That's actually useful, right? That's something I did notice is where you have some like several same. You have to be like, all right, have I got him as a first choice in another position? Particularly around the centre backs and right backs and stuff. I had a right back / centre back last year, and I was always forgetting that he was like my best right back. And I was like, I need a right back, but because he could also play centre back, I kept dropping him in centre back. So that's useful. So if it tells you they're the first choice elsewhere, perfect.
Well as where your attention is needed. And if a position needs strengthening, you're going to have a better understanding of your squad balance. Alongside this,
okay, good. That looks good.
National pool will give you an enhanced picture of the talent available for your national team. With brand new views.
International. What was that? What was that screen? Go back to it. Bring back that national pool screen. Okay, so national pool, right. So the one thing I was looking for here along the side was training. A lot of people have been calling for international training. Doesn't look like it's there, right? But I like this though. It should be called up. That also tells you if they should be called up just over here. Like it just says, call up this player, call up this player, call up this player. That's good. Right.
Your national team. With brand new views, you've now got a much improved perspective of how players can fit into your system while keeping an eye out for players on the cusp of their national pool. Improvements are coming soon. With FMFC subscribers getting first look. So,
all right,
now to get that delivered into your inbox.
We'll get our eyes on that.
You have a choice of 3 new ways to set up your game world.
This looks interesting.
Way of playing Football Manager, where you'll have an up-to-date squad at the start of your career, mirroring the real-life transfer.
This opens up a lot of possibilities.
Real World is the most up-to-date experience with players beginning at the clubs they were registered at the start date of your career. Then they'll move to their new club on the same.
So I think that one's probably the I like this one, I think, but I'm not entirely sure. So this one, for example, if you were Chelsea, you start the season without Caicedo and you would get him on like deadline day or whatever day it was, like the day before, move to the club on the same day as they did in the real life. Although it does mean if you're in charge that I guess it's put through as a future transfer.
As they did in real life. And then there's your world, where clubs...
Now this one's really interesting. Let's go on, Carl. Finish.
And budgets will be accurate at the start of the 23-24 season, with no real-life transfers reflected after that. This is going to give you the power to explore a completely different reality and rewrite history. And
now I don't know what date that one's on, because that'll be interesting if it's like the date of the first match or the date, like whatever they count it as, the July 1st or whatever it is, like start transfer window. But it's really, that gives you a really good possibility of like, you take Chelsea and you redo Chelsea's transfers. You do it completely different. You don't want them to sign Caicedo. You want them to go get Harry Kane. Like, it just opens up a wealth of different possibilities for players that are available, unavailable. Like a whole new type of, like, rather than a rebuild, a rewrite save. You know, we might do some of these on the channel. Rewrite a club's season. What could they have done different? Who could they have signed differently? Where could they have gone? I think that's a really interesting. It's good, right? You got a choice. What do you want to do? You want to take things as they are right now. You want to go from where they were. Like it's interesting.
There we have it. Upgrades and new additions across a host of key areas dramatically elevate FM24 to deliver the most complete edition in the series. You can pre-purchase anytime before full launch on November 6th from a participating digital retailer to get 10% off.
Like Fanatical. No, 22% off. 22% code Simaggio down in the description below at Fanatical. It is an approved retailer, like he said. So yes, go get that. It'll give you a Steam key, so you will get the early access that it is saying just there behind my head. Down in the description. Go.
The access on Steam and Epic for PC. So follow at Football Manager across socials for more updates.
All right, nice. Yeah, like I said, go give them a follow on that stuff.
FM24 console and FM24.
Oh yeah, that stuff's gonna be good as well. We'll bring that.
I need to go find someone to badger for a code. Take care.
Badger him for a shirt as well, Carl. For me. Cheers. Bye. Nice. I am looking forward to it. I'm pretty excited. That's looking good. I haven't decided on a save yet. I'm gonna have to think about that. But well, we have got the beta save, which is rather unfortunate. If you don't know where beta save is, make sure you join me over on Twitch when the beta drops, or whatever it's called, early access. It's not called a beta, it's called early access. When the early access drops, come join me on Twitch and you'll see exactly what team I'm doing for the beta. And I'm not happy about it. My chat decided who my beta is, my early access is going to be. Like I said, go use that code down in the description to get 22% off. You don't have to do it this week. You can go do it next week or the week after, but make sure you have it for when the game comes out. I'm going to make sure I have a copy as well. If you want to check out all the other videos I've done on FM24 and the announcements and how to look at through all the blogs, there are other little bits and details in there. Make sure you go check out this whole playlist here on FM24. I'm going to have some new stuff coming in there as well about save ideas, Wonder Kids, all kinds of stuff coming through on that very, very soon. So make sure you go check this playlist out right now. See you guys in a bit. Bye.